I'd like to welcome everyone and appreciate your presence today to join us in making some exciting announcements. It gives me great pleasure to bring to the podium Scott Weaver. He's president and owner of the Douglas J. Aveda Institutes and Salons. Scott has been an active and supportive member of this community for decades. His father, Douglas Weaver, founded Village Hair Shop in 1967, and Scott has helped grow the company, now known as Douglas J., into an empire with 6 Aveda Institutes and 3 salons. Scott and I have I've had the pleasure to work with Scott as a partner in this potential development that we're discussing today, and also have become great friends with Scott and appreciate that, and it's been my pleasure to spend a lot of time with Scott over the last year and a half. Please join me in welcoming Scott Weaver.
Thanks, Will, and thank you all for being here this morning. When thinking about kind of how to open up, something popped into my mind, and I wanted to share with you just a couple of quotes from a mentor of mine. It is an honor and a privilege to give back to the communities that support us each and every day. And second, when asked about starting his business, failure wasn't even an option. I didn't even look at it as a possibility. It had to be 20 plus years ago. I remember sitting down at a table with him, and he, the artist and creative person he sketched out on the back of a piece of paper or a napkin at a restaurant, I don't remember which, but this vision of what he saw for this downtown Okemos, specifically the Four Corners. And I remember how it included the park, the riverfront, walkable community with retail, residential, professional office, all incorporated into one. I'm thrilled and quite frankly relieved to be standing here with you today, as this has been a long and difficult road. As many of you may know, this mentor that I had the privilege to call Dad for 47 years passed away this February. None of this would have been possible, being here today, without him or my mother throughout those years. And with this, I honor him today with some of these announcements. I'm thrilled to announce that we as a family and the Douglas J. Companies has entered a partnership with True North Development, led by Will, to invest more than $100 million into the downtown Okemos and begin development of a new multi-use building that will mark the beginning of the transformation of this intersection right here. Douglas J is going to be looking to move its salon and spa. We are looking at a men's salon and potentially some offices to be a part of this new development. Over the past couple years, we had the opportunity about 5-6 years ago when we received a call from Comerica Bank that this property was available and if our family had interest in it. Knowing that vision that Dad had of the downtown Okemos, it seemed natural that we grab it up and we started a project down the road. Getting to this point took a lot of patience as we had a couple different offers and project and ideas that came through. But I know we found the right partners in Will and his team, and with the hard work that Meridian Township set out with a vision for this downtown Okemos, making this a reality. Many years ago, we promised our customers, we promised our employees, and we promised this community the Douglas J experience they deserve. And today, we take that first step in making that promise a reality. With that, please join me in welcoming Will Randall back to the podium.
Thank you, Scott. So I'm Will Randall, and I have the pleasure of leading the development team of True North Development as we bring this project together. My family and I moved to Okemos from Mississippi about 6.5 years ago, and ever since I moved here as a developer, and I've driven through this area of the Four Corners, village of Okemos, I have recognized this as an incredible opportunity and a blank canvas to start with a new mixed-use development. I think maybe I had a different eye on the market than those developers who have been here for decades. So we're looking forward to beginning this dreaming session that we're going to have over the next few days. Today marks the beginning of this long anticipated development and planning process. In a few moments after this press conference is done, we'll be going back to the Masonic building, where we've set up a design studio on the first floor. We've brought together architects, landscape architects, civil engineers, construction people, as well as my team, and we'll start to imagine and envision what this project can become. I'm truly grateful for Douglas J to be our anchor tenant for our first block of development, as that is a very necessary, important piece of beginning any development of this scale. We've been working with the best in the industry to develop this village-like feel for downtown Okemos, to create a place where people want to gather and linger. I've personally worked with renowned and award-winning planner Robert Gibbs. Bob, if you could wave your hand right now. Bob Gibbs, there he is over here. Bob is a landscape architect out of Birmingham. He's had a tremendous amount of impact on street landscapes and streetscapes around the state, including the Walloon Village in North Michigan, which I'm sure you're familiar with, as well as a new master plan for the city of Troy to create a downtown area, as well as he's been very instrumental in the master plan for downtown Birmingham. I've personally worked with Bob and looking forward to working with him again. For the next 2 days, we will start to identify building footprints and opportunities for construction in the area, using the Douglas J building as a building block to start with. The project will be designed in collaboration with Douglas J, as well as the Meridian Township group, which I can't say enough about Meridian Township and their user-friendliness as it relates to me as a developer, in helping us get where we needed to go to give us the groundwork, lay the groundwork for the type of construction and the density that we feel like we need here in this area. We envision something that's going to be a combination of retail as well as residential, possibly for rent and for sale residential, and you will see that we'll be engaging the community for public comment as we proceed in this process over the next several months. We would hope that we could start site work as early as fall of 2018, with vertical construction of buildings taking place as early as a year from now. Not only do we have a robust process, but this project also allows for the environmental cleanup of the site, which we have some issues that we've got to address that have been issues for some time. We're working closely with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, as well as the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. The first building marks the beginning of the reinvention and the reinvigoration of this whole neighborhood, and it includes this block and the block across the street that we'll be taking a look at various plans and options. I want to thank Scott Weaver, because without him, his commitment to downtown Okemos, this development would not be possible. Also, another thanks to Meridian Township and the counsel they received and the listening ear they had, not only to developers, but to all types of professionals that will be impacted by this development. My segue into the Meridian Township conversation, so it gives me great pleasure now to introduce Meridian Township Supervisor Ron Steichen. Ron?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to hand wheel this. Hold the horse. All right. I am pleased to be here on such a beautiful Meridian day. I'm pleased to share this podium with Will Randall and Scott Weaver. There's a feeling of optimism and excitement in the air, as there should be. This is an historic occasion for Meridian Township. Meridian Township has two origins and two hearts. North of here, Haslett, near Lake Lansing, and right here in Okemos, near along the Red Cedar River, where Chief Okemos and his tribe resided. Our focus today is this location, the village of Okemos, in the heart of what has been historically known to the residents of Meridian as the Four Corners. This event marks a new beginning for the Four Corners for downtown Okemos. This event marks the opportunity to once again have an Okemos area worthy of a township that is known as a prime community. During the last 5 years, the Township Board, the Planning Commission, the Township Manager Frank Walsh, the Township Planning staff, including someone who couldn't be here today because of a health issue, and I want to remember him, Mark Kieselbach, our Planning Director, have worked diligently to make today possible. We adopted a new master plan that pointed to 3 key areas for development, including this downtown Okemos area. We appointed a full-time development director, Chris Buck, who's here, to work with businesses and developers interested in Meridian. We created a development fund to assist with appropriate development projects. We formed our own brownfield authority to allow for fast and thorough analysis of environmental cleanup funding needs. And we modified our MUPUD ordinances to reduce barriers and give potential developers a little more discretion in what they build, while giving them much more specific direction for what the community wants them to build. These efforts and the attitude of the people of Meridian that they want a walkable community with new smart growth have helped us get to where we are today. The strength of the people involved in this project, Scott, Will, Bob Gibbs, the methodology being used to put it together, including the expertise of Bob Gibbs and others involved in designing the plan, and the continued hard work of Meridian Township staff makes me confident that the first steps being taken today will lead to the construction of a showplace for our community, our prime community. Congratulations to all involved in taking these first steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. I would just like to close by saying thank you for coming out this morning to share this momentous occasion with us. And stay tuned. There's more to come. We'll start to release some details of our design workshop over the next 2 days. Next week we'll start to put some images out there of some thoughts, and we'll start to get our feedback from the community. So once again, thank you for coming out on this beautiful day, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much.